Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Tuesday, August 25th, 2020. If you are watching the VODs on YouTube, please be sure to do all of the engagement and social stuff below the video. If you are so inclined, I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/otakushowboat, so head on over there to leave a follow to be notified when I go live, if you haven't already done so. You can also support Pyanodon's mods development at patreon.com/pyanodon, and myself at patreon.com/otakushowboat. So before we really get into things today, I have a poll currently going as of this particular stream. It will last for about a week. If you are watching the VODs, I should have it in the description below the video. I'll go ahead and put it in the chat now. So basically, I am going to do an extra playthrough of some game of some description as a reward for hitting 1,000 subs on YouTube. This will be a YouTube only series. Just to make that clear, it's not going to be a stream. It's going to release ideally on Saturdays, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So basically, the days in which I do not currently release the uh, tutorial updates. So I have that poll going on. It's a huge list of things, a big list of games, and you can pick however many on this list that you want, and I will announce what the results of this poll are on my video that will go live on September 3rd, my monthly update vlog, which is my monthly patron thank you video that I've been doing for a few months now. And I just cover what happened in the previous month, what the goals are for the upcoming month. We'll have a big special discussion about the 1,000 sub mark in that particular update vlog. But I'm probably going to release some video later today on the YouTube channel where I also am discussing this. So do give that a watch. I have this poll going now. Select whatever you want on that list. The one with the most votes, obviously, is going to be the one that I will go with. Uh, Comments can be made on my Discord about it. Um, I've already gotten a comment on my Discord asking about not including the Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, because I have a. For those who haven't seen the poll yet and haven't clicked that link, on this list I have several of the generations of Pokemon games, basically Gen 1, 2, and 3, as well as the GameCube releases during that time. So the handhelds and the two big GameCube games, the Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness. So they asked why not why Heart Gold Soul Silver not on this list. Well, that's because Heart Gold Soul Silver are 3DS or DS titles, I should say. I do own them. Right behind me, beyond the veil, is this whole top line. Yeah, those are all Pokemon games. I own basically every single physical release of a Pokemon game. Period. With some key exceptions. I don't have the remake release that just came out of the Mystery Dungeon for Switch. I also don't have Pokemon Box Ruby and Sapphire because it's really expensive. And I don't think I have Pokken Tournament. That's like it. Essentially every single mainline game. I own a lot of the all of the spin-offs. Otherwise, besides that exception, I own physical copies of. The thing is, I just can't record DS 3DS titles. I can record consoles. I can record Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. I have a Game Boy player on a GameCube that I can record with. So that means that I can do those things, but I can't do the DS titles. Just because I don't have the hardware to properly do it. And no, I will not stick a camera in front of a DS or 3DS because that is supremely unprofessional and it's not easy to set up and play that way. Like having like trying to play on an actual DS or 3DS while trying to keep it steady in front of a camera and not have lights glaring in reflection. It's actually pretty hard to do to begin with to make it even remotely look somewhat reasonable to have on a video, but there are methods, there is hardware that exists to get a direct capture of the video and audio from DS and 3DS systems. So, but it's expensive and I don't own it, so at the moment. So that's why those are not on the list, in general. But yeah, that's just a list of some things. It could be longer, it could have been shorter, but just go ahead and have your votes there going forward. And it looks like some people have definitely already voted. And I'm going to I of course have my thoughts as to what's probably going to win, but we shall see because this is a different format from the last poll that I ran. Anyway, Factorio time. Let's actually play the Factorio game. PyBlock, hello, welcome back. So, of course, what has happened off screen? That's of course always going to be the main first thing that we begin with. Well, let's actually start with what we did last time. Last time we met, I got through wrapping up the primers build and starting up the sodium hydroxide and making microfiber. So we are well on our way to being able to actually start making good samples. Basically, the only thing left is placing down the final set of buildings in here. And we're good. It's like 3 buildings. I think it effectively just a few buildings down to make the good alien samples at the rate I can currently actually make them at, and then loading them onto a train. So what I've done off screen is I have brought in the belts of the stuff that's nearby on both sides. So I have all of these belts coming in now, and all of the trains, of course, have their requests going. So that's all ready and good to go. What else I have done off screen has reflected a lot around this block right in here. As you can probably tell, a little bit of work has gone in here. So I've got the unslimed iron process in here going into the steel, molten steel. And I've got borax production in this block in here. And I've been working on copper. The copper is not done yet. It's a little large on the copper, but it's going to be fine. And if I get out of my menu, we can see that my frame rate's eh. The UPS is eh, but this is after like adding all of this stuff in here, and I haven't gotten rid of it in the factory smoke buildings yet. So I have gotten rid of a lot of like all of the iron factory smoke stuff. I've also like replaced the coke stuff that was over here in this factory. As it turns out, what I've been doing thus far with the factory smoke factories, after I have cleaned them out in my slow replacement of them, is I have been mostly destroying them. However, It appears as if Factorissimo 2 does not handle the destruction of factory buildings all that well. Um, it basically seems to treat them as if they exist as a picked up entity. Specifically, items that I have built, buildings that I have put into warehouses and then destroyed the warehouses, because that's like the easy way to destroy a whole bunch of entities at once, is to throw them into a big warehouse and then kill the warehouse. Where did I park? Way up there. Okay. Um, so it doesn't clear those entities, which is a little odd. And what's ended up happening now is I can't really pick up Mark 1 factories anymore, because the way that Factorismo 2 names existent buildings, it does this weird little thing where it appends numbers to the end of entity names. Apparently, it can only iterate up to a value of 99, from 0 to 99, and it won't go further than that. So whenever I try to pick up too many of the Mark 1 factories now, and I think I'm even getting that with Mark 2 factories as well at this point, it just won't let me. It physically won't let me pick them up, which I find incredibly frustrating. Like, what? Why? Why have you not cleared the existing, or the names that were assigned to the destroyed entities? Because they're destroyed. They're gone. They don't exist anymore. I can't place them if they don't exist. So why is that name being reserved for an entity that no longer exists? It's quite frustrating. It's quite frustrating, and I realize that there is a setting in the mod settings for Factorismo under, I think it's map, uh indestructible factory buildings. Yeah. This is here, I guess, for this very reason. For this very reason. I I don't I don't know why they wouldn't just fix the problem to begin with. Like, why do these things still keep their names if they're destroyed in a warehouse that gets destroyed? And I have picked up the the little requester chest tech, the factory requester chest. This thing is supposed to request basically any factory buildings that are inactive, but it's pretty limited, actually. It only picks up the first 29-ish things. It like doesn't it's not able to pick up literally everything. And it doesn't update either when you put additional things down. It's really bad. It does not do what I would like it to do. Ollie has arrived. Yes, Ollie, hello. You're very twitchy. Here, you can go. You can go do what you want to do at my window. Look out the window or something. Or climb. He likes to climb. Also, I picked up the tech for the logistics trash slots. I think I went into that last time when I noted that as soon as I picked up the actual logistics tech, it stopped resetting my logistics pane whenever an update happened to the game. So it's like, huh, that's interesting. I heard a meow. Ollie, get down. So I have a shorter bookcase in the back corner that has a whole bunch of amiibo on top of it. Uh, yeah, lately cats have been liking to climb on top of that shelf, I guess you can call it, on top of the bookshelf. Low bookshelf, and they've knocked down amiibo onto the floor. makes me angry. They also try to get up onto this media cabinet next to me, and knock stuff down from there. They try to use my chair as a stepping stone to explore the top of the things. Anyway, enough about all of that stuff. It is time to move on. This is, by the way, identical. This is like identical to the current infrastructure that existed in the factory small buildings. Mostly, a few slight edits to things to make the stuff longer, but you see a lot of these squared off builds in here. A lot of these squared off builds. Yeah, these were basically just in factory small buildings mostly. Especially you, which apparently I am a little bit off on that. Ahem. I should have a logistics zone. I have my logistics bots help me build a lot of this. And we can see this is from the factory smoke setups just pasted outside rather than in those buildings because it eats up a lot of performance. Factory smoke just eats performance. It's really hungry for resources, system resources. All right, let's get into things now. The good alien samples. All I'm going to need are the gene labs, which I need to pick up again. The gene labs. So let's get those going. As well as the FB reactor from High Tech. And I should have chem plants on me at all times. And because this is using nitrogen hydrogen, I do need to make sure that I at least have the DDCs for that nitrogen, which I definitely have, as well as the electrolyzers for the hydrogen. All right, you bring me stuffs? Yes, they brought me stuffs. Off we go. So this is going to be really small infrastructure for the size of the spot that it's going to live. But over time, I will add in the train station elements of all the stuff that's currently coming in by belts. It'll be expanded to get more, far more good alien samples because, well, I need more stuffs. I need stuffs and things with these samples getting done. I'm not actually going to use these samples on stream. The reason being, as we clearly have seen with the Kickalk, even if I do set up a build, it's gonna take a while before we actually have enough stuff for the modules. So I'm thinking about doing the stuff for the modules just off screen, let the game run, and yeah, go from there. There are several alien lives that that we will get access to as soon as I have the good samples. In particular, Ulrich will be able to make. That's the corral, not the actual Mark 1. The Ulrich here. To make the first copy of the Ulrich is going to only require the good samples. We've got the ability to make everything else. We'll be able to actually start producing Ulrich. These guys are best at making bone meal at the moment. And the good alien samples, I think it's also unlocks for us the Tufra. And let's see, where's that recipe? Right there. Good alien samples for Tufra. That's rather important. I think also Yotoi and maybe... No, not Grodd. I've actually got some Grodd. But Yotoi and just lots of things. Lots of things. In fact, what we can do is we can do good alien sample. This is alien sample 02. Filter by ingredient on the alien sample 2, and we can see all of the things in here that it is used for. Yadles, technically I get access to. The Yotoi Aloe, Ulrich, Tufra. Ah, yes, these guys, the Fagnots. And the Novens are just good alien samples. These are just good alien samples. We have to pay attention here because some of these, like the Mukmo, also require artificial blood, which is, yeah, not happening anytime soon because artificial blood is going to need us to get through some rare earth ore. We'll need rare earth ore as part of some cobalt. We need cobalt fluoride thing going into that artificial blood eventually. And that's going to take a little while because for that we need to do phosphates to get into rare earth ores. Uh, I don't actually want that on here. Looks like we could theoretically make comouts, but there's no point to using comouts at any point in time uh, for a long time. Uh, Aurum are useful, very useful as a source of sulfuric acid, and the other later phase things, the MSA stuff. So that will be handy. And then Bodos exist. I mean, there's no real necessity to use Bodos this early, but we will be able to make them with the good samples. So it's Bodos, Aurum, Novens, Fagnots, Tufra, Ulrich, Yotoi, and Yadels that all get unlocked / available for us to make the first versions of, unless there's some codices that are locked behind circuits. I think comouts are locked by circuits, circuit 2s. Maybe I think the Yadels might also be locked behind circuit 2s or the Navins. One of these, I think, or both. So yeah, there's some stuff that's actually circuit 2 locked due to the codices. There's some stuff that's locked due to artificial blood, ultimately. Some stuff comes later. And of course, we need good alien samples for actual Pi science as well as chemical science packs. So that's going to be like the consistent demand is Pi science and chemical science packs. And I think it was last time when Pi was around, he asked if I could actually do the cotton gut blue science yet, and the answer is no. You cannot actually do cotton gut chemical science at green science. It's a little odd because what's the point of having this alternative method of getting into science packs if you don't actually have access to that alternative method of getting science packs? Um, and I think it unlocks at a Pi science though, so that's the key. Is I'm pretty sure it unlocks at Cotton Guts Stage 2, which is not chemical science locked. Actually, this gives phasogens and green science and red science. This does not give chemical science negation. Okay, that's an oversight then. I would call that a slight oversight, but this whole system is being redone, so I don't care. Like this whole system is being rebalanced, completely rebalanced. Anyway, speaking of which, speaking of balance, I have done several more of my tutorial videos. I have recorded several more of my tutorial update videos, in which I have not found any issues whatsoever. Uh, and I'm actually being serious. I have at this point recorded and not posted. Well, the borax video just went up. I have niobium recorded. I have nickel, zinc, molybdenum, and rare earth ore recorded. So there's like 5 additional videos after this one that came out that I have recorded, and yeah, they're all pretty straightforward. They're all pretty straightforward. I mean, we've already sort of seen niobium in this playthrough thus far. We'll be seeing molybdenum relatively soon after getting zinc because, well, zinc's required to get into actual moly processing. Nickel is pretty decently balanced, as is zinc, pretty decently balanced. There was something, I think, with nickel, though, or zinc, one of these two. There was something in here that was a little bit different. I actually need to bring an import because this is actually pretty neat that I noticed while I was recording zinc. And since our topic going forward is going to be zinc, let me show this off because this is very interesting. So the later phases of zinc, if you're throwing all of your ore into high grade, actually requires filtration media to make high grade, which filtration media requires activated carbon, which requires zinc. So what happens if you use too much filtration media and you don't have enough for this process to move anymore? Well, you end up with the same situation as you may end up if you start using too much power, which is a positive feedback loop reducing the amount of output of your zinc down to 0. If you get all of your zinc out of high grade processing, which is this process here, as you can see. Well, what also unlocks at chemical science, blue science, is a zinc concentrate into molten recipe. Now, this alone doesn't give you all that much zinc out, but you could also send your waste into high grade and end up with more. So there's a unique property of the zinc chain where you can essentially, in case of emergency, throw your zinc concentrate into making molten to kickstart the production of your zinc again if you run out of filtration media. So this is a very interesting thing that I basically noticed as I was recording the tutorial video. It's like, this is an interesting thing that you can totally do. And it's actually balanced to be like naturally progressing in higher output as you go. So you can throw your concentrate instead of going directly into high grade with your concentrate through this very easy step to end up with 44.55. You can throw it into molten directly and do this. Which, yeah, that it's I just thought that was an interesting thing that I hadn't noticed before. In particular, that it's just something I hadn't noticed yet. But we've been thinking a little bit differently in terms of trying to figure out the balance of the ore processing setups lately. And something similar, I think, was noted with iron or something. There was a similar process was noted with something else that is the only reason why I even noticed that this exists to begin with. It's like, what do we do with that waste if we stop at that point? Anyway, this is not the production block I want pinned. Oh yeah, and the powdered zinc is actually probably what I'm going to do. Like, this is what I'll do with my zinc processing now. Basically, like, as soon as this tech goes through, if I haven't already picked up zinc processing, which I have not, I'm going to pick up this tech next, and that's going to unlock the plate casting of powdered zinc, because that's actually useful. That's doable, is the important part. That's doable from That Brain Blue Science. Um, I don't have the ability to go further than this because you need stainless steel to get into the jig to do anything beyond this. So yeah, it's jig locked to go further. But this is an upgrade over doing grade 3 molten. See, grade 3 molten 15 in gives 9.45 out. Grade 4 powdered zinc gives 12.86 plates. The only reason to not do the powdered is if I want to do anything with the molten zinc, which you can't really do anything with the molten zinc for alloys yet anyway. Like the molten zinc, yeah, the only alloy it's used for is silver zinc alloy, and I don't have the need for that yet. Like by the time we need it is later at like high grade, and I'll be doing high grade zinc at that point. All right, let's get into finally after all that delay, half an hour delay. Let's get this sorted, shall we? Alright, so I need some nitrogen first. One of these gives 4, so I need 2. I'm gonna rotate like so. What this allows me to do is just, this is vent, right? I think this is gas vent. Another one of those stupid things. It's like, is this free? Yeah, it's gases. We are dealing with gases for these. Even though they're not the same type of icons. That's not a gas vent. Come on. I do have multi-purpose pipes now, if you weren't paying attention last time. I have obtained the beautiful, wonderful multi-purpose pipes, the indestructible multi-purpose pipes. Each of these uses a singular doohickey. Yeah, it is 1-to-1 on the pressurized air into the destructive distillation columns. That'll give me enough of the nitrogen. 1 electrolyzer will give me plenty of hydrogen. Same thing here, just do that, do that. This is not built to be able to scale all that well, but oh well. We shall manage. And I'm just tucking that out of the way for the moment. Okay, I need the ammonia production. We'll do that here. I know I need to bring a belt all the way over, which that one... Bring that up and over. There's that. There's that. Power. So this recipe used to not need chromium. Now it does, because it was too good. It was simply too good. Without having some extra expenditure, so Planeton gave it a chromium requirement. Like, this is... I still say it's basically the best there ever was in terms of actually getting ammonia. But now it's just a little bit more expensive. And that is fine by me. Autosave is autosaving. But those were good times. Those were good times when ammonia did not require a catalyst. I say catalyst even though technically if it was a catalyst you'd actually get something back out of it. But anyway, it does make it go faster. Ish. That's what a catalyst does, by the way. It makes a process go fast. In this case, it makes the process go. No, not technically catalyst. I just call it catalyst for ease of categorization. Alright, so there's our stuff. That's going to be there so that I can do up or down. Some degree of scaling. Anyway. Alright, well that's that step done. Ish. Oh yeah, I also need the carbon dioxide. What am I going to do for a compact, tiny little setup to get into carbon dioxide? I'm just trying to think about what is the most compact biomass I can get. Because ideally it would be preferably a biomass that doesn't involve me having to deal with any uh, byproducts. That's why I'm a little hesitant on the tar, because I mean the answer's pretty obvious. It's oh, do I not have any? No, I do. Where are you? Where's the icon I'm looking for? There it is. So tar would be pretty simple to do, but it's a little big. It's a little big for the tar. That's my only little niggling issue, and it involves burning of stuff, which means that I not only need the I need you to be one tile further away. It'd mean I would need not only to have the tar build in and of itself, I would also need a heavy oil refinery to make coke, unless this actually makes more than enough, lots more than enough. I can have a look at this. So I need 7.5 out of biomass. 0.25. If I do this through tar, which is the easy way, quote unquote, and I do tar out of stone, I end up with this that I need to deal with, and void. And of course I need the stone, which means I would need one soil extractor, one washer, a DDC, at least 2 burners, and I would need the compost plant going into the high pressure furnace. So minimum it would be these 2, plus the one DDC, the one soil extractor, the one washer, and the 2 burners for 5 buildings. Big buildings included with this. And just using the extra biomass as the fuel to get rid of the coarse fraction and tailings dust. I think this is going to be like one of the only viable things that I can just place down here. There are alternative things with phytoplankton that I could do. Can totally do phytoplankton into biomass, into flue gas, into more phytoplankton, into more biomass, etc. But again, then in that case, you end up with needing a gas refinery as well as the phytoplankton farm to make your phytoplankton into biomass that makes more flue gas that's making the phytoplankton. Similarly, since we are dealing with carbon dioxide, you could do something involving the moss loop. There's options. There's options. There's even fawogae spores. Hey, what's the fawogae spore looking like? How many of those? 3 spore collectors. I think that's going to be small enough. Oh, like, yeah. Yeah, bring me spore collectors. Wow, okay. Sure. Why not? These things are made from air. Like, that's simple when you need just a small amount, I guess. There's something on demand that's simple. Glad we figured that one out. That's pretty simple. I can, and because it's only 3, I can like place them around the compost plant and direct feed into the compost plant. Yeah, that's ended up going pretty nicely. That's gone pretty nicely. I should be standing in a logistic zone, so they should be on their way with those things if they haven't already delivered. Hello? They are on the way. Where are they? Hello? Bots? Robots? E- Excuse me? Robots? Oh, there you are. Hello. There's my bots. So I do have some upgrades to my bots at this point, due to the blue science techs. They move a bit faster. They carry an extra unit of cargo, and they have really big batteries. I think the Logibots have a 2 megajoule battery now, which is just fantastic. I got an Ollie passing me by again. Let's see, there's a button for this. Bonuses! What do we got on bonuses? So on our robots, we have a plus 75 movement speed bonus thus far, as well as a 30% battery size increase and a plus 1 cargo capacity. This means the level 1 construction bots now can hold 2 items, which is nifty when placing down tile, because now a single construction bot can carry with it 2 units of tile to place. This was a relatively recent change. It was actually several months ago now, but relatively recent grand scheme of things, so that the construction bots can actually place more than 1 tile item at a time. Hello, Ave! I am just wrapping up the good alien samples right now after having discussed a bit about zinc. A little bit about zinc. Let's see. I am doing that. One more tile. That, yes. Hello. There we go. Yes, just a little bit about zinc. In my discussion. Basically, with zinc, because high grade has this slight issue where it needs filtration media to make high grade. What happens if you run out of filtration media? If you're using too much for other processes and not getting enough into this process to continue making high grade? Well, you sort of die. Your zinc production dies completely if you can't feed it enough filtration media. So there's this method that uses the zinc concentrate into molten, and it produces this zinc waste. So what you can do is you can have your zinc concentrate go into molten in case of emergencies, while the waste continues to attempt to go into high grade out of filtration media. This offers a means of escaping a death spiral that I had noticed. At some point. Would you have power? Thank you. Also, we're totally doing fawogae spores into biomass into CO2. We're totally taking spores and composting spores into biomass or for CO2. Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. And I was talking about zinc because that's going to be what we will be doing going forward is obtaining and processing zinc. And I was just going over how my idea is that I'm going to go through powdered zinc. As soon as I pick up this next tech, I will be picking up the zinc processing 3 through my VatBrain Blue Science so that I can do this process, because this process is objectively better than this process, which is grade 3 into molten through hot air casting. 9.45 versus 12.86, and we can't go further than this at the moment because we are jig locked. That's the Cliff Notes version of all of that. Oh, speaking of which, zinc processing, level 3. Let's get back there. Pin this. Done all of that. FB reactor time. Hello. Where is my FB reactor? Where is that icon? I am so desperately desiring that one. That's the icon I desire. Make me some beautiful formamide. Yeah, that's a better orientation. I'm gonna sneeze. I managed to actually mute in time. Wow. Success. Actual success. Oh yeah, and for those who have joined me at a little bit later after the initial introduction to the stream, hello, I have a poll. I have a poll active through the week into next week that is to determine what I shall play on YouTube as a reward for hitting 1,000 YouTube subscribers. Yeah, that's a few votes for one specific thing that has happened over the course of the day today. So yeah, I had a feeling it would be that one. I had a feeling that was going to probably be the winner here, but yeah, and just for reference, you can pick as many options as you would like. This gives me a better idea of the audience's tastes for content. Just gives me that idea of what you would like to see, or what would be acceptable to watch on YouTube. And this is the YouTube format, not streaming, so just bear that in mind. We are pretty close to the 250 follows mark, by the way. We are at 249 follows right now. Growing steadily. Steadily is how I'll word that. Alright, so there's Formamide. That's done. Just need a gene lab now. 2 gene labs, actually. One doing one thing, and one doing another. So this one is the polymerase, and the other one is good alien samples. Huzzah! Alright, this needs 4 things, I think mostly being brought in by train. I think, well, half of it is being brought in by train, or no, only retrovirus. I think only retrovirus is being brought in by train. The rest of the stuff is over here. Oh no! Retrovirus is here. Oh, those things. Right, so none of it is being brought in by train. Yeah, it's this stuff that has the 2 things. Alright, sure. Tempting to actually merge belts, but I need glassware too, right? It's, yes, glassware, lab instruments, Vrouk, and retrovirus. So, well, If I was going to combine these, I should have combined them way back, way back, but this actually gives me an opportunity to scale a little bit. Also, my allergies are like killing me today. Just gonna throw that out there. My allergies are not great today. Might have to turn on my peppermint diffuser. Alright, where are we? Here we are. Hello. Sprout cocoons. Good alien samples. Get these brought over to be more in line with where we need to go. Poor alien samples, excuse me. If I said good. These are poor. They're very poor. Very, very poor. Let's see. These things can combine, but the spacing is not that good. This is not great spacing. Copy. Paste. Ta-da! Okay. And then this belt. Let's see, I'm just gonna do something like that. Toss those in there. So that's one, 1, 2, 3. Oh, more glassware. Right. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll just go like, hey, have that. Ore samples, microfiber plastic. And that, theoretically, is that. Just add power. One, two, three. One. Oh, primers, right. There's one more thing. There is, of course, one more thing. There will always be one more thing in the pie suite to have to take care of. And that's these. Alright, we are good. We are amazing and fantastic, and we now have good alien samples. I am just going to simply throw these into a chest for now, and worry about the train later. We did it! Next, that's the milestone marker complete. That's my diffuser I just turned on. I actually have to take it off the desk, otherwise it might be too loud. Alright. So, from here, as we begin to accrue good alien samples, our non-zero amounts of good alien samples, it's time to move on to something completely different. And that is zinc ore. Excuse me. Or zinc? Yeah, it's ore zinc. Sure. Sure. So we do not have access to any of the atomizer recipes right now. nor can we get access to any of the atomizer recipes. The reason is that these are PyScience locked, I'm pretty sure. Um, Let me think here. How should I search for this? Zinc or here. Molecular decohesion, stage 2, is PyScience. Yeah, that gives us blood into zinc as well as grod seeds into zinc. The next phase is at blue science plus PyScience, and that would give us a brains and guts zinc recipe. Little weird that it's brains and guts. And then production science would give us brains and guts separately to make zinc. Okay. Sure. Also have to laugh at the Brenea into phosphate. Like, that's just cruel and unusual punishment. 10 fish into 1, that's also pretty cruel. But 7 out of 1 chitin, that's useful, and that will ultimately be my primary phosphate production right there. 7 phosphate rocks out of chitin is the actual thing I think I would end up genuinely doing. I do sort of have to laugh about 10 meat and 50 cyanic. That's nowhere near remotely close to enough cyanic for the meat cost in the early-ish phases of the game. Otherwise, yeah, I think we're fine. Wasn't there like a Dingrat spike into zinc or something? Wasn't there supposed to be like a Dingrat spike into stuff? What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of something. Hello? Ollie? A wild Ollie has appeared. Yes. Yes, Ollie. That's my boy. That's my boy. Trying to squirm away. Like you're not squirming away from me. They're supposed to not like peppermint. Like he just walked right past the diffuser, diffusing peppermint into the air. Like, what are you? You're not supposed to like the smell of peppermint. It's supposed to be repelled by peppermint, and yet they're not repelled. They are objectively not repelled by peppermint. But anyway, that's that discussion. I can't do it until PyScience, and I don't think I can PyScience without zinc. I do not think that I can PyScience without zinc. Let me have another look at the neural processor setup. I don't I can't do PCB2 without zinc. And similarly optical fiber, I think, because of aramid. Is that it? No, that's well, yeah, because molybdenum, and molybdenum needs filtration media to get into moly plates. So you need zinc to get into moly, to get into aramid. Hello? Hello? Ollie? Yes, you're grooming? What are you doing? Please don't make another rip in my green screen. There's already a rip in the green screen. Okay, so he's just gonna be grooming here. Ollie. Yes, are you gonna use me as like your backstop? Yes, you get up. Hi. Hi. Hello? You're gonna fall. He's gonna fall. He's gonna fall. All right. Back we go, I guess. I've got a cat now behind me. On my chair. So yeah, we can't get into PyScience without having some amount of zinc. That's the key. So the only ways we can get zinc right now, only two ways are through soot, which is not ideal, or through drilling fluid two, and drill heads and syngas, which is also not particularly ideal. Uh, I haven't really looked at the soot method yet. Uh, at least he did not become a live fur collar. He does do that on occasion. I get draped with cat around my shoulders, around my neck. He does do that sometimes. He's still there. He's looking. Hi. Hello. Dolly likes going up there too for some reason. So how do we get soot? Like, how can we get a consistent supply of soot? That is technically a consistent supply of soot, but that is like real bad. Uh, into four with olefins without the titanium tetrachloride and still 300 lube. I think we have a winner. What's depolymerized organics? Manure! Ha! 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 Right. Yes, just make 62 and a half manure. Just make 62 and a half manure per second. Like, yeah, just have 1,200 og paddocks. Right. Just have 1,200 og paddocks. With the modules. Hi. I have another visitor. I have a Dolly. Dolly's here too. She just went to get up on top with Ollie. Yes. Is that my sweet girl? Yes. Is that my sweetie? Isn't multi-product recipe details obsolete with the new GUI? It does seem so. Yes. It does appear as if it's not required anymore. It seems to show all of the products now. Didn't used to, now it does. Similarly, I haven't mentioned it yet, but my mind just got onto this. Actual craft time actually shows the accurate values now with the Pi Alien Life stuff and the negative productivity with the modules. It was apparently updated like 2 weeks ago, something like that, to fix that issue. It now actually floors productivity at 0. So it's accurate now. Yay! Yay! The tool actually shows you accurate values now. And I did test, and yes, it does show accurate values now. So yeah, that's not gonna happen. Yeah. Yeah, this isn't happening. No. But what about you? You are somewhat convenient because I have access to lube in many different ways. Many different ways. What way would be best? That is a lot of tetrachloride. Wow. Maybe not that way. Versus aromatics out of what? Aromatics out of what? That's a good question. That, just to show us that we need a few units of tar. That's a few units of tar. Hi? That's a few units of tar. Let's see. My little setup is 250. So 16 of my setups making tar. That does not fit in one square. Plus 119 processing units, plus another 43 tar processing units, plus 71 desulfurizators, and 19 crackers, and everything I need to get the 1875 steam. All that for 15 whole zinc ore. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. So, yeah, that's... I think that's pretty obvious. As a no-go on the soot method. In the alternative, there is ground boring. Ground boring, I have recommended that the ground borers just take drill heads. We'll see if that ever comes to fruition. But we will need drill heads provided on our network, of which recipe would I use for this? Which recipe? I really do not want to spend titanium. I am completely okay with spending aluminium. It's just I what I have tail touching my neck. Um, this only gives 3. This only gives 4. This gives 6, but it's titanium. I don't want to spend the titanium. Titanium is huge on its builds. Uh, fine. The syngas is simply tar. I'm not concerned about the syngas. What I am concerned with, though, is the collagen. Because that is urea. And skin. So I need skin. What's gonna give me a good supply of skin? In here. What's the... Og. Og gives 2. Boric gives 2. Mukmo would give 4, but I can't get into... I'm not able to get Mukmo yet. The fish rendering is 8 into 3. Then you make 1. Corlex would make 5. That's interesting. Zipier would be the most, but I don't have access to the Zipier processing yet. Zipier would make 6. Just for the sake of checking on the fish. That's not that bad on the fish for a 15 zinc out. I would also need methanol through any methanol method, of which... What? What is the recipe? With the most usefulness, I need to decide, like, what is going to be my primary methanol recipe. That's probably going to be this. I'll need to set up titanium tetrachloride. I have titanium tetrachloride. What am I saying? I have this thing. I spent a stream making catalysts, including titanium tetrachloride, so I don't need to worry about that. That's out of tar. Yeah, I don't know. How many fish farms is in this build? 168. Oof. That's an oof. For 10 short. That's a mega oof. 10 short. Alright, comparison time. What if skin from Augs. How many Augs is that? Let's go ahead and say the food recipe. I should have what I need now to do the food. Yeah, I have the stuff now to consider doing food. 113 og paddocks. That is not going to fit in a single square. Like, this is 80. This is 80. Each line section is 20, so I would need 2 more sets. That does not fit in the slightest. I would need to extend outward, maybe? And the logistics are different because of the food. Yeah, I think either way I'm just screwed. Yeah, I think I'm just screwed on this skin. Let us compare even further with the Ulrich. Just because Ulrich has some different speeds and outside inputs and all of that. So let me have a look here at... do I have the Ulrich food capacity? I technically do, yes. Ulrich. Mark 1 Ulrich. Fill the machine. Also, you're that one, not the Mark 0. 103. And the Ulrich corrals are similar in size? They are smaller than Og paddocks by a tile. That would make it easier to fit 103 because they're smaller. Actually, they're smaller by... yeah, just by 2. Ooh. Ooh. They're smaller by 2 tiles, yes. Yes! Yeah? By the way, in case you were wondering, yes, you can absolutely do this. That was behind a setting, by the way, under, what is it? Interface settings now? Show all items in selection lists, this new interaction thing that's been added. By default, this has been turned off in recent versions of the game. So make sure you have this on, as well as pick ghost item if no items are available. Those 2 settings allow you to basically just put anything you want into your hotbar, and then you can just pick the item, and it's good to compare sizes of buildings, like I have just done. So I guess we're going to be using our good alien samples for Ulrich. Granted, though, the food is not so easy. It will need its own block just for the food, I think. Alright, what's my next tech going to be? It is you. It is you. Yes, it is this one. I need this. I need this. This needs to be in my life. This cumin recipe needs to be in my life, like, right now. Like, right now, this cumin recipe. Why? Why does this cumin recipe need to be in my life right now? Because this means I can do phenol and acetone through the cumin recipe without having to spend phosphoric acid. There's my acetone through a better method without having to do all of that huge building for acetone anymore. Primarily. Now, I do have to deal with the phenol, but yeah. And just being able to get phenol with acetone is just really, really worth it. Really, really worth it. I will always prefer that recipe over the dedicated acetone recipe. So yeah, this thing. The food. So the food is wood, tree seeds plus ash. This is trivial. The fawogae is also technically trivial, as is the relesia and the guar and the tin. I mean, every single one of these individual inputs is trivial. It's just that I need to have the infrastructure built for this. That out of that, that out of that. Matrix solver on, please. Guar out of not lamps, please. Yes, guar out of not lamps would be great. Tree seeds out of wood. I'm okay. I am okay just shipping wood and making seeds out of the wood and not doing local wood production. I already have a build that does wood and provides it onto my network. Uh, yeah, that'll be the food. That will not fit in the same block as the 103 Ulrich corrals. But I think I'll manage. I still need the boric acid, but I have the boron, or the borax, excuse me, on my train network. So borax I have on the train network. This is going to use a trace amount of that. I need the hydrogen chloride, of course, which, yeah, about that. Where's the standard? There's the standard recipe for that. Just one building out of that stuff, which is fine. I can bring saline water in to take care of that easily. And then we get into the ethylene glycol, which is going to need silver in its process. A little bit of slaked lime, not worried about that in the slightest. It is the process beginning here that is the issue, which is that silver plate, as well as just straight up chlorine. Oh, and ethylene, which is a lead expenditure, or an iron oxide methane expenditure. That's not happening. It is a BTX lead, and the BTX is going to come from this. Yeah, don't spend the low distillates here. Just do tar into crude oil. Where is that recipe? Where is that recipe? Tar into, there it is, right there. Okay, that I think covers most of it, just not the syngas, but that's always harder to calculate. Let me just go with this for now. That's a plan. That's a plan. Do you remember what I was saying about this being easier than the soot method? Let's keep that in the back of our minds. Oh, he left at some point. I didn't even notice that that Ollie left at some point. The back of my chair. I've been too engrossed in planning on this day today. Oh boy. That's a build. Wow. Sheesh. Involving an animal I don't even have access to yet. Or I don't have yet and have to make. Oh gosh. Gee. Let's start making that, shall we? Let's start it up. Does the Ulrich require, like, blood or anything? Let's have a look. See. So the first Ulrich recipe here. Water, cDNA, horse samples, Ulrich codex. Okay. I think the horse samples are logistic science packs. The codex I can just put in a building to make. I'll have to grab some biosamples and cDNA. Or I'll have to grab some cDNA. I should have biosamples being brought to my mall, if I'm not mistaken. I don't? What? Why, hello there, Mr. Rubber Zero. M biosamples. M biosamples. Hi, you're going to be bringing in biosamples. So that I don't have to worry about that. And let's ignore the fact that I have just now assigned that I have now filled up every single one of the things in my existing mall train station. Oh boy. This is gonna be fun. Quotations around the fun, by the way. So we've got several aspects to this build. A lot of this should be on dedicated builds. Separate dedicated builds. Where to begin? That's always a good question. To begin is the Ulrich, obviously. I need to get that sorted. By the way, that's what happens with trains. I'm stuck. I'm stuck! Stupid train. I got stuck. Alright, I'm going over where? I need to pick up cDNA. Excuse me. There we go. Like, clear out some of the crap, please. Pick up some cDNA, pick up some logistic science as well. cDNA should be starting to fill in there. Logistic science is to my left. Yes, take things away from me, please. I'm gonna close this for now. I'm not even remotely interested in performing all of that nonsense at the moment to get into zinc. That's what's particularly frustrating, is that you have to do all of that to get into zinc. And you have to scale it when you need more. Like, that infrastructure is just 15 zinc. Ah, biosamples. Right. How's that looking lately? Where's biosamples? Biosamples, hi. How's the biosample infrastructure looking? Moving. It moves, and that's, I guess, all I can really say about that. It moves. It's not enough. It will never be enough. I need so much titanium for it. Way, way, way too much titanium for it. I'm gonna split and not have it all going into science because, yeah, I need to sort of be able to have my good samples moving. There we go. Just gonna steal some Logi science rather than have it brought to my mall on a constant basis. Let's make Ulrich. And as I have said previously, I will be building out some infrastructure for Ulrich to get modules to do builds with Ulrich, including this one, and I will do that off screen because it takes a really long time for that positive feedback loop to actually feedback. So yeah, also this finally finished getting built off screen. I just need to assign all of the recipes. But what I do know is that over here, I want to start up a codex factory setup of like all of the things making codex. But I want to start with Ulrich right here. So there's all of that stuff. You will absolutely limit yourself to 1. Next, I need data arrays. Yeah, so these things that are placed here, just for reference, I can't pick this up, I think. Okay, I can pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What are the numbers assigned to them? 10, 74, 75, 76, 77, and 99. Which means that if I go into a Mark II factory, I think this one has additional Mark 1s. If I try to pick this up, this is stupid. This is stupid. I should not behave this way. I don't actually have 99 picked up Mark 1 factories. Just for reference, I don't have 99 picked up Mark 1 factories. They were destroyed in warehouses, but the names don't get reused. They don't become freed when the entity dies, when it's in a warehouse, which is a bug, in my honest opinion. However, we have reached the halfway point for the stream today. I think what I want to do is get this stuff provided on my network, get the data array placed. I don't think I have any data arrays available at the moment that are placed. I should have data arrays being made here. This is a data array. Yes, this is a data array. You need to make... Oh, you use red science. Cool. Sure. Be that way. You use red science. I don't have any of that in the mall now. I just gave it a whole bunch of green science. So it looks like my plan of letting this run while I'm away has been thwarted. So I guess I will do that when I return from my break. For those of you watching the VODs on YouTube, don't forget to do the poll below the video. If you're watching anytime before September 3rd, 2020. Do all of the other social stuff and engagement type stuff. I will see you all on the next one. For those of you watching live, if you haven't voted on the poll yet, go ahead, vote the poll. I put that in the chat just now. I will, of course, be back in a few minutes.